Hello, 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 hello. Let's see how we get to you. I love this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Uh, all right. How are you people? Hello. Okay, we are cooking with gas. We are cooking with gas. So, I've been on the road for the last couple of weeks. I've been doing conferences and the magnificent podcast summit, which was off the chain. It was so much fire. Oh my goodness. So much love, so much information. It was amazing. I had the best time. So today I want to kind of talk to you about stuff that I I really got to see on a different level. Um, and and that is how people show up. You know, we're the only ones we have, and we have to show up in our best way, because when we don't, we get lost. We don't look like what we should look like. And I was reminded of this scripture in the New Testament, Matthew 7:24-26. Therefore, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock. The rain came down, the stream rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and do not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. And so I want to talk to you today about walking in your center, being authentic, being who you are as best as you can, not trying to be a copy of somebody else, not trying to replicate somebody else, but just being you. And how important that is, because when you aren't your authentic self, you repel people, and you don't really know why you repel people. You know, I want you to understand that you're an eagle. And when you aren't yourself as the eagle, you kind of, a lot of times we want to fit in with people. We want to be part of the crowd. And that's where we get in trouble as actors. We want to fit in. And the reality is that when you are an actor or a creative person, what makes you special is how you stand out, how you are different from everybody else. Yesterday, I was going to my favorite bagel place, and sitting out on the curb was this woman with bright yellow hair, and she was tatted everywhere. And it made me smile, because I was like, this woman is walking in her authentic self. You may not like yellow hair, but she loves yellow hair, and she's doing what she wants to do. And I say that is how we as actors are supposed to be. We're supposed to walk in ourselves, be who we are, stop trying to fit in with everybody else. When I first came to Los Angeles, I was trying so hard to fit into these groups, and these groups did not want me. And I was like trying hard, and I didn't understand back then what I know very well now, is that don't try to fit into groups. Your job is to find your tribe, because when you are looking to be part of a group, you lose yourself. You make all kinds of concessions to be part of the group. A tribe welcomes you in your authenticity, and you want to be authentic. You want to be you. And as an actor, if you want to really make a difference in this business, if you want to be a superstar, you have to be authentic. You cannot be trying to please everybody. No, be you. Be you, and eventually people will find you. If you're authentic, if you stand in in your integrity, and you are focused and you are intentional, the right people will find you. But if you're trying to please everybody, if you're trying to, be part of that crowd, man, you're going to fall flat on your face. I've seen the last 2 weeks as I was traveling and doing all this stuff, I was watching people who were authentic, and then I was watching people who were being copies of other people. And when you're a copy of somebody, you are not going to go anywhere. Yes, you might book jobs as an actor, but you're not really going to have that career that you desire. Now, if you want to be a copy, then more power to you. But I'm talking to those people who want to stand out, be authentic. So the biggest thing I want to say to you is stop trying to fit in groups. Find your tribe. Your tribe is what counts, not a group. We don't want to be in groups. We want to be in our tribe, because that empowers us. That gives us confidence. That makes us fearless in a bigger way. When you're in a group, you're always apologizing. I was in this meeting while I was traveling, and it was so uncomfortable for me, because I was watching all these people wanting to be in this group, and they wanted to be with the in folks, and they wanted to be with the stars. And it was like, oh, it hurt my heart. My back still hurts from it, because I didn't see anybody in the room who was being authentically themselves. Everybody was trying to fit in and trying to be a star, but not be authentic. And when I was at the podcast summit, oh my God, everybody was a star, because they all were authentic, and everybody was carrying themselves in such a great manner. And it had nothing to do with people who were starting out, or people who were, already in their podcast career, or they were at the top of their game. They all walked in their confidence, in their center, in what God created them to be. And God has created you to be outstanding and special and different. And different as an actor is a good thing. You want to be different as an actor. You don't want to be like everybody else. Meryl Streep is not like Julia Roberts, or, Brad Pitt is not like Marlon Brando. They are themselves. So let's talk about the negative effects when actors don't walk in their center. I really want you to understand this, because this is huge. Whether you've been acting for a long time or you just started, this is important for you. If you are complaining about how people don't see you, they don't give you parts, they don't call you in the room, let's break it down. This is why you are not getting out there, because you are not different. You're not being authentic. It does not show up in your headshots. So let's talk about this. Number one of the negative effects when you don't walk in your center is that you have a lack of connection. So without authenticity, it's hard for audiences to connect with you on a deeper or emotional level, because they don't get who you are. And that also relates to when you're doing character work. If the audience doesn't know who the character is, they don't care about him. It's not whether you're the good guy or the bad guy in the show. It's about how specific you are. How specific is that character? We want to be specific. We want to be authentic. When you're not authentic, you deliver shallow performances. So your performance lacks depth. It makes you forgettable. And that's the same way for you as an actor. If you're showing up shallow and you just want to be liked by everybody, we forget who you are. It is important for you to be you. And if you are a controversial figure, then that's who you are. If you are Mother Teresa, that's who you are. But just to be you, go deep in who you are. When you are not authentic, you miss opportunities. Casting directors and agents and directors can sense when an actor isn't fully present or engaged, and that leads to missing roles and auditions. Again, missed opportunities come because you take headshots that are not specific to who you are authentically. A lot of actors want to take headshots with them looking fabulous, but it doesn't sell. They don't get the callbacks. They don't even get the calls because we see an actor picture. We don't see a person that we can go, oh, I can take that person and put them in this project and this project. I just see an actor taking headshots. That's not good enough. So another negative effect of not being authentic is that there is an emotional disconnect. When you're not grounded in your own truth, you can't truly connect emotionally with the material, other actors, or other people for that matter. The next thing about not being authentic is that it comes across, your inauthenticity comes across. Audience can tell when you're not being genuine, which can lead to a lack of trust in your performance. It also works with people. If you're not an authentic person, that the people you are meeting can tell you're not being genuine. They can tell that you got a mask on. You're not really being you. I don't get to see who you are. I need to see who you are, good, bad, or indifferent. I need to see who you are. If you are someone who is vanilla, then be vanilla. Be vanilla. If you're Rocky Road, be Rocky Road and do it to its fullest. You know, I am a street Christian. That I want to say that I'm a street Christian. I grew up in the ghetto of Spanish Harlem, and I mean the ghetto. Now it's gentrified, but when I grew up, it was the ghetto. And so as so I discovered. I want to say that's the wrong word. I don't want to say that. So I got saved when I was 16 years old. Foul mouth, attitude, got a lot going. But let me tell you something. I love God. I love God. I know that the Christians are getting a bad name right now because of this stupid stuff that's going on. But I can tell you that I will stand on my Bible. I will stand with God. That means a lot to me. And I'm not going to change who I am because someone says, oh, you know, you shouldn't talk about God and you shouldn't talk about the Bible when you're talking about acting. No, but that's who I am. That is who I am. If you don't like me, I'm okay with it. If you got a problem, take it somewhere else. I don't really care because this is who I am. If I see you on the street and you look like you need help, I'm coming to help you. If you look sad, I'm gonna ask to pray with you. That's who I am. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be somebody else. And this is something that I've always walked with. Even though I try to be in groups, they kick me out because I wasn't like them. And that's okay. When I was in my early 20s, I'm going to tell you it wasn't okay because I so wanted fellowship. But what I have learned over the years is that fellowship can only happen when you are in your tribe. It does not happen. You can meet people, you can say hello, but fellowship, true fellowship comes when you are in your tribe, when you find your people, wherever they are, all over the world. When you find your people, oh my God, there's none like it. But when you're trying to be part of a group, it doesn't fit, it's uncomfortable, it hurts. So the next negative about not being authentic is when you are not fully authentic, You restrict yourself as an actor. You're playing it safe instead of exploring the full emotions and creative range that maybe this character has, or you as an actor have. So you limit yourself. You're squashing yourself down. We don't want that. We want to be able to explore and be free and do. We want to be castable. We want to be directable, but we also have to be us. I hope you get that. And when you are not authentic, you walk in a lack of confidence. You're not confident. You lack that confidence that you need. Without being in your center, without being in your center, your confidence can falter, and this can manifest in shaky or inconsistent performances. We don't want that. We want to be fully ourselves. Also, when you're not authentic, you have burnout because you're constantly trying to conform or to have expectations without staying true to yourself. And that can become exhausting, and it can lead to burnout. We don't want that. No, 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 no. Also, when you're not authentic, when you're not in your center, you start overthinking. You're spending more time trying to figure out how to perform, how to impress, than just letting the moment unfold. This is who I am. This is what I do. How are you? How can I be of service to you? Be you. Be you. If you are a son of a gun, be a son of a gun. That's who you are. Just be you. The last thing, number 10, is when you are not authentic, you cause frustration and self-doubt. If you feel disconnected from your true self, you may be struggling with feeling like you're not good enough, which leads to a cycle of frustration and self-doubt. If you are feeling like an imposter, then you are not walking in your center. You're not being authentic. Because real imposters are very confident. Real imposters are very authentic in that they are imposters. They are fully engaged, fully committed. So we want you to start being authentic. And, part of it is discovery. It's discovering who you are, discovering what you like, what you don't like, what gets you excited, what tingles in you. It's like, oh my God, I love this. This is the stuff that I really love. That's what you want to find out so you can walk in that authenticity. So let's talk about when the benefits of walking in your authenticity. There's a cost, right? If you are not walking in being authentic, there is a very high cost. We don't want to spend that kind of time, money, energy on not being authentic. So let's talk about the benefits of walking authentically. Number one is that it gives you a deeper emotional connection with people, with your audience, with casting directors, with industry people. When you are authentic, it draws people to you. People, you become a magnet for people. It also gives you the ability, when you're being authentic, to have memorable performances. Authenticity creates performances that resonate, it making them memorable, impactful, and award-winning. Just a little a side note there. Number 3, when you walk in your authenticity, you build stronger relationship. You connect more deeply with other actors, other industry people, other people in general. It also helps improve collaborations, and it creates more dynamic projects because you're being authentic. When you think of Kevin Hart, when you think of The Rock, when you think of who else can I say that they're so in their power. Viola Davis, so in their power, so in their authenticity. This is who I am. This is what I do. It there's benefits to it. There's benefits. Sam Jackson benefits, Denzel Washington. There are benefits to that. Walking in your authenticity. It also, when you're walking in your authenticity, you create trust. That trust factor goes up because you're genuine. People can trust you more, both inside of auditions and rehearsals and in real life, because they go, okay, this is who this person is. I always want to know who people are. I'm always looking, I'm always observing, and I can tell when people are coming in the room trying to impress and not being who they are. Be who you are. And when you go into industry rooms, or when you're doing self-tapes, think of doing, not impressing, but being of service to the project, to the material, to the character. How can I serve this piece? It makes a huge difference. Instead of trying to perform, instead of trying, I'm going to be the best. No, how do I serve this piece? How can I, this character, how can I bring her humanity? I've talked about this before, but one of the things that I learned early on, the roles that were being given to me, or that I was going up for, were not always great roles. And if you read it, it could get you offended. Like, why they think Latin people are like this? They think black people are like this. And in the beginning, I used to get very upset about that. And then go into the interview with an attitude. And I remember one time being in an audition, and every now and then you would go to these auditions, and they had everybody in the room. They didn't know what they wanted, but everybody was in the room. So I'm in this audition, and somebody starts yapping and kind of creating a frenzy, like, this is terrible. They always give us this kind of crap to do, blah, 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 blah. So I went into the audition with an attitude, with a chip on my shoulder. And the casting director was somebody who really liked me, liked my work. And she knew I could do this part, but I was so wound up from what was happening outside of the casting office that I refused to do the work. I just was like, I'm not doing this. Well, I left, and that person who acted out in the lobby and got us all riled up, she was the one who got the part. And that night, she called me and said, oh, you know what happened? I got the job. I was like, what? And I remember getting off the phone going, oh my God, somebody is going to get this thing. And it is, it is, how can I explain this? So somebody's going to get this part. How do I come with the part, doing the best work I can do, and really going deep? So if it offends me, how do I take ownership of that part and really bring the humanity into that character? So that's what I started doing. And that really does change how you show up on a set. It changes how you bring your work to the stage, because you're not judging the characters, you're not judging the writing, you're serving the piece. Another thing that a benefit of hold on just one second, because I think I did something. Okay, let's continue. Sorry about that. I had a little glitch there. So when you are walking in your confidence and in your authenticity, it gives you a creative freedom. When you stop trying to be something you are not, you open yourself up to deeper creativity and expression. And that's important as an actor or artist. It also allows you more opportunities because directors, producers, casting directors can spot that authenticity, and then they want it in their projects. They want more of what you have. They want it. You know, it's like, oh, she delivers the goods all the time. Let's use her. It also makes your brand stronger. Your true self shines through every role, creating a unique and recognizable brand as an actor. So, you know, we talk about branding all the time, but branding is being your authentic self at a max at max capacity. You are just being yourself on a high level. That is the brand. It's also creating emotional resilience, right? Because you're walking authentically. You're coming in stronger emotionally. It's giving you the resilience that's needed to handle any rejections or challenges, and it really does make a difference. So, Brene Brown said this: authenticity is the daily practice of letting go who we think we're supposed to be and embrace who we are. So we got to let go of who we think we're supposed to be and just be who we are. It's that simple. So I want to give you some practical steps to start walking authentically. So the first step is self-awareness. Spend time reflecting on who you are and what you care about and what matters to you. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your passions. We talked about that earlier. Embrace your vulnerability. Don't be afraid to show your true self in auditions and performances. Vulnerability allows you to connect emotionally and authentically with the material, with people. Be authentically vulnerable with people. Number 3, let go of judgment. Stop comparing yourself to others or trying to meet other people's expectations. That always leads in failure. Focus on your journey and your authentic voice. Number 4, ground yourself before auditions, performances, before you go to events, before you have to meet friends for coffee. Practice mindfulness, practice meditation, or practice a deep breathing to release any kind of pressure or stress. Just take that moment to breathe, like, this is who I am. I'm going to make this a good day. And part of that grounding yourself is not going places where you're going to be stressed out or you're going to feel out of sorts, you know, because we don't want to be in rooms where people don't get us, where we're uncomfortable. It's like, why am I going to a room where I'm uncomfortable? I don't want to go there. That's not where I'm going. I want to go to rooms where I am celebrated and not tolerated, where people are happy to see me, where it's a good thing, and where I can contribute. So think big of yourself. Trust yourself. So the next step we can do is trust our instincts. Rely on your inner voice rather than overthinking. Trust that your instincts and your intuition will guide you. You know, a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. When I did the movie Stand and Deliver, it opened the door for me to go speak at many, many events. Like over the years, I became a spokesperson for athletes and entertainers for kids. I was going to colleges. I was just going all over the place speaking. And most of the times I had no clue what I was going to say. But I knew that when I got on stage, it was all going to come to the surface. That God was downloading in me what I needed to say to those people, because I was so confident that I was there to be of service, that it wasn't about me. It was about the people I was speaking to. So I was trusting God to tell me what I was supposed to say. And I remember one time I was doing a big rally at a school in Southwest Los Angeles with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a bunch of other athletes. And I had done a lot of stuff with Kareem, and I used to think this man doesn't even know my name, because every time I would talk to him, I felt like he's so tall, I'm so short, that whatever I said got stuck in his knees, and he just didn't get it. But so this day, he turns to me and he goes, "Lydia, what are you going to talk about?" And I said, "I don't know, Kareem. I'm just going to talk." But and so he introduced me, and because I had confidence, he had confidence in me. He also knew me. He also knew that I had spoken to a lot of his rallies. So he had a sense of who I was. But I was so confident, even though I didn't know what I was going to say, that when he introduced me, he told the kids, "Listen to Lydia because she knows what she's talking about." And that was instincts, my instincts. I was speaking on through my instincts. I instinctively I knew what I was supposed to do in that room. Head-wise, I had no clue what I was supposed to do in that room, but instinctively, that small still voice in me that is God gave me what I needed to say. So trust your instincts. Number 6, stay present. Be present. Be focused in the now. Be in the now. Don't worry about past auditions or future roles. Just be here and now. Wherever you are, be present now. Don't worry about the bills. Don't worry about, how the next year is going to show up. Just be present right now. And practice self-compassion. We have to be kind to ourselves. We have to embrace mistakes that we make. It's part of the journey. Let go of perfectionism. And when you practice that, then that imposter syndrome does not show up because you are being kind. You are extending grace to yourself. Number 8, create your own identity. Develop your unique approach to acting in your career. Don't try to fit in somebody else's mold. What is it that comes out of you, oozes out of you, is just you. Don't be closed down to feedback. Be open to feedback. I'm not saying to be open to criticism, but be open to critique, which is different. Somebody is saying to you, "Hey, you can do this better." Now, "Oh, I don't like what you did." Well, if they say, "I don't like what you did," that can be a criticism, but be open to feedback. Ask people for assistance to show you, to tell you what you can't see when you're doing something. That's why acting teachers are so beneficial. When you're in a great acting class because you found your tribe, you don't want to just be in any class, but you want to be in an acting class where you found your tribe and where that acting teacher is really guiding you and giving you feedback to improve your craft, to improve you as an actor. Number 10, take risks. Don't be afraid to push boundaries and experiment. Authenticity comes from you stepping out of your comfort zone and going, "I'm going for this." I was listening to an interview with Tisha Campbell, and she was talking about how she wanted to audition for My Wife and Kids, and she knew Damon Wayans, and she was very good friends with him and the family, and she really wanted to audition for her, but they wouldn't. They said no because they didn't want they didn't want to be reminded of Gina from Martin. But she really, her intuition was, "I got to go to this audition." So she called up to Sheena Arnold and asked her where the audition was going to be, and she crashed it. And she told her agent was like, "Don't do it, don't do it." And I'm not saying go crash auditions or, But I am saying that when your instinct is speaking to you, honor that. And because she honored that and she showed up and she crashed the audition, even though Damon, when he saw her in the hallway, gave her a dirty look and then came in and saying, why is she here? She's not right. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. You're not right for the part. You're not right for the part. But if you really believe that you are right for the part, you got to do your due diligence. You got to show up and get out of your comfort zone and just go for it. Worst case scenario, you don't get it, but at least you tried and show up. Don't just crash, but really be prepared. Well, she came prepared. She came and she wowed them, and the rest is history. She got the job. I'm not saying that happens in all cases, but when you are confident, when you're confident about stuff, nobody can keep you from it because you are being authentic to who you are. Now, by focusing on these steps and embracing the power of authenticity, you as an actor can unlock deeper emotional connections and have your performances be so powerful and award winning, and it can give you a more fulfilling career. So I want to end with this. I want to give you this scripture, Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So with that authenticity, you have to protect yourself, which is what we were talking about earlier. Don't go into places where people are hating you or people, where they're looking at you funny. Guard your heart. And if you got to go in those rooms, make sure you are well guarded so that stuff doesn't get on you, because that stuff can be very hazardous. So be careful. Walk in your authenticity. Be careful of where you're going, but also be courageous and also be okay to get out of your comfort zone. All right? And remember this. In 1 Peter 3:3-4, it says, your beauty should not come from the outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold, jewelry, or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. So, as you're going into places, don't worry about how, you got to wear the finest clothes and you got to do this, unless that is your authentic self, then go for it. But authenticity comes from within. It comes from inside here. So just shine. Be you. When you're authentic, you shine. When you are authentic, you rock and roll. Ain't nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you. Coco Chanel said this: the most courageous act is still to think of yourself aloud. So it means you are being brave. You're saying, hey, I am somebody who is to be here. E.T. Thomas, his big thing is to tell yourself, I am. And I am are the most two powerful words you could say to yourself, because I am is God's name. I am. When Moses said, who do I say sent me? God said, I am. And when we say I am, we are making declarations. I am confident. I am solid. I am an award-winning actor. I am in the top of my game. I am. Not I am broke, busted, I am disgusted. We're not saying that. We're saying things that empower us. I am. So talk well about yourself aloud, like Coco Chanel said. And remember that quote that Brene Brown says, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go who we think we are and who we think we're supposed to be, and just embrace who we are. Just embrace who you are. So that is what I want to say to you. Remember that the world doesn't need another imitation. It only needs you. It needs you to show up. I get so heartbroken when I see people that I know that are powerful, that are amazing, and they walk in timidity, that they're not really being who they are. So remember, walk in your center, embrace your truth, watch the impact that you make on everybody else in your auditions. You were born to stand out and not fit in. So let's make that happen together. I invite you to join me in the community Acting Smarter circle, which is starting in September. I am going to just create a group of actors who can rise up to be superstars. That's the desire of my heart, to get a group of actors who really are committed to winning it, who are authentic, and who want to win in this business. So if that is you, go to Acting Smarter now and sign up for the wait list. We are starting the community in September and we go until December. And I'm expecting transformation for every actor who shows up to be in this group. I thank you. I love you. I can't wait to talk to you next time. Have a great one.